An item that I like to bring with me, although not super necessary, but I kind of feel now is necessary as I've gotten older, is a Garmin InReach. This one is the InReach Mini 2. I really like this because it just gives you peace of mind on the trail, knowing that if anything were to ever go wrong, that you have a way to communicate with the outside world. Typically, when you're hiking in the mountains, especially if you're in, Kananaskis country, Banff, you don't have service. And so having this means that you have a way to communicate with someone if you were to get into trouble. It's also really great because you can use this if something were to happen to your car. Most places where you're driving, you also don't have service. And so this just means that if you need to call for help, something happens to your car, you break down, whatever happens, you have a way to connect with somebody. So really love to bring this.
When you're out there on the trails in the winter, you're definitely going to want some sort of traction aid. It's come in all different types and sizes and designs. Some are going to be more grippy, some are going to be less grippy. It just all really depends what kind of grip you want, and realistically, most of them are going to do a pretty adequate job of keeping you upright. Definitely want to set these because you just never know when that dirt is going to turn to ice. So you're better safe than sorry, and at bare minimum, have a set of these with you in your bag because it's not going to be a good time for anybody when you go sliding down the mountain.
One of the things I usually like to bring hiking with me is a hydration pack, but unfortunately in the winter what happens is your tube ends up freezing and you can't drink out of it, so not super helpful. So what I like to do instead is I bring an insulated bottle. I really love the Hydro Flask, or a Yeti water bottle is really great as well. Because they're insulated, it'll keep your water at a temperature where it won't freeze, and therefore you have drinking water, which is great.
So this is going to be the most critical thing that you're going to want while winter hiking. And that, of course, is going to be some form of emergency kit. In here, you're going to want your basic first aid, some extra snacks, multi-tool, fire starter, basic things like that that can help you get through the night if things go extremely south. I'm not going to go into too much detail what I keep in mind, because your situation is probably going to be much different than mine. Just do some research, do some digging. Make sure to go through and make sure you have things to keep you alive if things go south.
Another item that I really like to bring hiking with me, especially in the winter, is my Jetboil. This is the Mini Mo. It's super convenient because it comes in one little package with basically everything that you need to have a nice hot, warm lunch when you're on the trail. And I feel like that really hits when it's cold outside and you just need something to sort of warm you up from the inside out. And so I really love to bring this. It's super easy to set up. You don't even really need to bring matches or lighter to start it. It has its own igniter. It fits really small into your pack. It's this plus whatever size container of gas you want to bring. And that's really all you need to have a hot lunch. Typically I'll bring, chili or some sort of soup or pasta, which is really great. Heats up in no time and you have a nice hot lunch when you're outside and it's cold.
This is something we didn't have on our first hike, and we definitely regretted it. And that is going to be some sort of chair. There's a lot of different chairs out there. Look for something that's nice, small, compact, and light. It's easily packable, so it's not too much of a hassle to get it up the mountain with you. First hike, trying to cook food, trying to eat lunch in 6 inches of snow or 8 inches of snow, not no snow for sure, was a bit of a challenge. So in the winter, sitting on logs, sitting on rocks isn't the best option, unless you don't mind a cold and wet butt after the fact. Just keep yourself comfy, get a chair, and it will make your life much more comfortable up on the mountain.
I don't know if it's just me, maybe I have really terrible circulation, but in the winter, one of the things that I really love to bring hiking or camping with me is hand warmers. These things honestly save my life. I absolutely hate having cold fingers and cold hands, and so stuffing these into my gloves just assures that I have a toasty place to put my hands, and I love that. So highly recommend hand warmers. Amazon has a whole bunch of different kinds that you can get. I really like these ones actually because they have a like a rip-off top and then a resealable pouch. So if you are only using it for an hour or two, you can actually put them back in here, seal it, and then you can continue to use them for another 8 or so hours, which is great. So they're not necessarily just single use, which I love. They come in a big box. You get a whole bunch of them. I bring them with me pretty much everywhere. Hiking, skiing, you name it. My dog walks, if my hands are cold, I bring these. Love them.
This one's not going to be saving your life out there, but I always bring a camera with me. Of course, nowadays, your cell phone will do a pretty adequate job of capturing any landscape photo, but it really just doesn't give you the freedom of creativity that an actual camera gives you. And that's why I'll always have this with me when I'm out there on the trails.